What is really going on behind the scenes with our quarterback? Texans fans, buckle up because the situation regarding our franchise signal caller is far more intense than anyone expected heading into the season. While we all know the talent is there, the front office is clearly demanding more before locking in a massive long-term deal, and the pressure is officially mounting to a breaking point. Is our superstar feeling the heat, or is he ready to prove the doubters wrong? You need to hear this update right now. Smash that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let's dive into this. CJ Stroud enters the 2026 season facing a defining chapter in his professional career. When he first arrived in Houston as the second overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the expectations surrounding him were immense. His rookie performance stood out as one of the most impressive efforts by a young quarterback in recent history, acting as the primary catalyst that elevated the Texans from a rebuilding phase into a genuine playoff contender. However, the subsequent 2 seasons have presented a different narrative, as CJ Stroud has not consistently maintained the high level of efficiency that defined his breakout debut. While there have been sporadic moments reflecting that elite potential, his overall production has dipped, leading to a situation where the 2026 campaign carries significant weight. The organization currently possesses one of the deepest and most talented rosters across the entire NFL, a result of aggressive construction by general manager Nick Caserio. By investing heavily in talent on both sides of the ball and surrounding the signal caller, with an improved offensive supporting cast, the franchise has signaled its intent to compete with the top teams in the AFC. Despite this strong roster, the team's ability to maximize its potential relies heavily on finding stability and high-level output from the quarterback position. As the team prepares for the upcoming challenges, the focus remains locked on whether the star can reclaim his former trajectory. Every snap in 2026 will be scrutinized under this context, as fans and analysts alike wait to see if he can recapture the magic of his rookie year. It is truly Toro time for the leader of this offense to prove his consistency, as the stakes have never been higher for the future of the Texans franchise during this critical upcoming season. The uncertainty regarding a long-term commitment to CJ Stroud has become a central point of discussion as the 2026 season approaches. ESPN's Dan Graziano recently highlighted the immense pressure facing the quarterback, noting that the team's decision to exercise his 5th-year option for 2027 was a necessary procedural move, but it did not provide the long-term security many expected. With a combined salary of only $31.6 million over the next 2 years, the team maintains financial flexibility, yet the absence of a long-term contract extension is a significant detail. Graziano argues that the organization's hesitation to lock him up early speaks volumes about its current evaluation process. The front office is clearly prioritizing a wait-and-see approach, wanting to observe more progress before committing hundreds of millions of dollars to a singular player. This strategy leaves CJ Stroud in a position where his performance throughout the 2026 season will directly influence his future standing within the organization. While the team continues to express public confidence, the lack of a finalized extension acts as an objective signal that the commitment is not yet unconditional. For a player who was once viewed as the undisputed cornerstone, this reality shift creates a high-stakes environment where every game serves as an audition for a massive financial future. The logic behind this approach is rooted in the high cost of modern quarterback contracts and the necessity for the front office to be absolutely certain before making such a major investment. Consequently, the pressure is not just about winning games, but about justifying his role as the face of the franchise. The upcoming months will determine whether the relationship continues long-term or if the team begins to explore other alternatives for the future, placing him under more pressure than most peers in the league. Why does this matter right now for the team? The answer lies in the current championship window that the Texans have constructed. With such a well-rounded roster, the organization cannot afford to have a missing link at the most critical position on the field. The depth provided by Nick Caserio's roster management means the team is equipped to make a deep run, provided that the quarterback can operate efficiently and reliably. If CJ Stroud struggles to perform at a high level in 2026, the entire strategic outlook for the franchise could change rapidly. The team's championship aspirations are predicated on the assumption that they have a premier passer leading the huddle. If that assumption is challenged by a disappointing season, the front office will face difficult questions about whether to stick with their current quarterback or search for a new direction. This is not just a personal issue for him, it is a fundamental problem for the team's competitive strategy. The offensive supporting cast has been bolstered specifically to give him every tool necessary to succeed, meaning there are few remaining excuses for underperformance. The team is built to win now, and any regression in his play effectively puts a ceiling on what the group can accomplish.
By not extending him, the organization has kept its options open, which provides them with a safety net but also adds a layer of intensity to every Sunday. For the coaching staff and the roster, having a settled quarterback situation is essential for maintaining focus. Instead, they are entering a year where the status of their primary playmaker remains the most prominent storyline. This dynamic creates a critical scenario where the team's ultimate success is inextricably tied to his individual performance, making his play the most vital element of the entire 2026 season. The contrast between the expectations set by his rookie year and his recent production levels remains the core issue surrounding CJ Stroud. During that first season, he displayed an ability to navigate defenses and lead the team to victory that made him look like a generational talent. However, the inconsistency that followed has complicated the narrative. The fact that the Texans have decided to wait on an extension is a direct reflection of this variance. In the NFL, organizations typically prioritize locking in their franchise quarterbacks as soon as they become eligible, often viewing the investment as a settled matter. By choosing not to do so, the team has introduced a level of doubt that is impossible to ignore. This decision is not meant to be a judgment on his character or his potential, but rather a cold, calculated move based on the objective data points available from the past 2 years. CJ Stroud has shown he has the talent to be elite, which only makes the current situation more intriguing for observers. If he can demonstrate that his rookie success was not an outlier but a standard he can return to, the extension conversation will change instantly. The financial stakes for the team are massive, as a long-term deal would anchor their salary cap for several years. Therefore, the desire for more evaluation is logically sound from an administrative perspective. Nevertheless, the situation leaves him in a vulnerable position.
He is playing for his future salary and his reputation, with the reality of the business side of football bearing down on his performance. The organization is watching closely, waiting to see if he can rise to the occasion and prove that he belongs in the upper echelon of NFL quarterbacks during this critical window. Looking ahead, the 2026 season will serve as the ultimate referendum on the status of CJ Stroud.
Regardless of the public statements made by the team, the lack of a long-term contract is the most accurate indicator of where he stands in the eyes of the decision-makers. The good news for him is that he possesses all the tools required to silence the skeptics and secure his future. His past performance remains proof that he is capable of playing at an elite level, and the talent surrounding him on the current roster provides a stable environment for a bounce-back year. If he produces a strong campaign, he will likely reclaim his spot as the undisputed leader of the Texans and move toward a lucrative extension. However, if he fails to regain his form, the organization will be forced to reconsider its long-term strategy for the quarterback position. This creates a high-pressure dynamic that will follow him through every practice and game of the season. The management of the team has done its part by building a competitive roster, leaving the burden of proof squarely on the shoulders of the quarterback. It is a defining moment, one that could shape the trajectory of the entire franchise for the next several years. Fair or not, the success of the 2026 season will be used to determine whether the team has found its long-term answer or if they need to look elsewhere. As fans, we are watching a pivotal storyline unfold in real time, knowing that the outcome will have lasting consequences for the team's championship dreams. The focus remains entirely on him, as he faces the most important stretch of his career, needing to deliver the results that the organization expects to justify the faith they placed in him as a high draft pick.